Welcome everyone to episode 94 of the Sen Nutrition Podcast with your host Bryan and Peter today. And it's literally the last hour of work for the year, Peter. How are you?
Bryan, I'm not too bad. Have you cracked open a champagne yet or what?
I'm looking at it in the fridge. It looks very good. And this is going to just be a year in review. We're going to be quite casual about this podcast. We'll talk about the good things that have happened this year to Sen, but then also little sneak peeks of what's happening next year. So how are you, Peter?
Bryan, very well, very well. It's probably good timing with this as well. We can sort of summarise what, obviously, what's happened this year, and probably more so what's happening next year. We have got obviously a few upgrades to different products. We have got a couple of new products as well. So we won't let the cat out of the bag, sort of on this podcast, but we might give our listeners and our loyal supporters just something to be excited about for next year.
Yeah, I think we can start this one off with how the year panned out for Sen. Obviously, with COVID, we could get around to more events and places. And Miguel and I were at Willinga Park for that Gold Buckle Championship event, followed later in the year by Cowgirls Gathering. And then we took the whole crew down to Equitana. I think both of our highlights probably was Equitana, the enormous response that we got from our clients.
It was an absolute privilege, Bryan, to be at Equitana, but also to be alongside Guy McLean. Obviously, we were part of Guy's entourage, if I could say so.
Bit of a groupie, yeah.
Bit of a groupie. Yeah, Guy had a line up there longer than the best chips in town. So, signing his autograph and obviously pictures getting taken. So yeah, it was awesome to be part of Guy's team, and obviously it was a pleasure to meet a lot of our supporters, but also putting faces to people that we've spoken to over the phone, sometimes in 10, 11, 12, 15 times over the years as well. So, look, we're going to try to be there, obviously, in the next one. I think it's in 2 years' time as well. It was almost like a dream come true, basically, for you and I to be there, but also to have the team with us. So, yeah, onwards and upwards for next year.
Yeah, to get that direct feedback from our clients regarding the podcast especially, it was amazing. You guys want more gin jokes? We're trying to get a gin sponsor now, I think, Pete, and actually our spies of our Instagram, we've been followed by a couple of gin companies. So if you're out there, Antipod or Inc., we'll definitely not say no.
Bryan, beggars can't be choosers. You don't need to name any names. So anyone even wants to send us a clean skin, we're happy to review it here for you. We'll drink it and tell you whether it's any good or not.
Yeah, that could be the first change of 2023. Just going back to Equitana, we'd just like to thank Katie from Equipad, our partner or our collaborator with the Equipad Sen saddle pad. She was instrumental in organising a lot of our stock to go down, and we couldn't have done that whole event without her as well.
Yeah, and I think that pad, obviously the collaboration, will be available for sale. Is it January, February, Bryan?
Yeah, so they actually land in Australia in January for dispatch, and you can head along to the Equipad website. There's actually will be a link in the show notes where you can get direct access to it, and they're selling out fast, so yeah, be quick.
Yeah, last time I checked, there was only 35 or 40 left. Yeah, so as Bryan mentioned,
really popular.
When we come back next year, we'll let everyone know, obviously, that with an arrival date, to be a bit more specific.
Yep, that's awesome. So I think the next part is we will give you guys just another little insight to the going on at Sen and just commonly asked questions that we get. And this one in the recent weeks has been popping up a bit, hey Pete, with feeding guides and taking them a little bit too literal.
Yeah, I think it's come about with, might have been in a users group where I think Bryan and I always go along the pretense that treat a horse as an individual, and it might have been from memory one lady that had 3 horses and she's got all 3 on a Sen diet. 2 are doing obviously spectacular and the other one's falling a little bit behind. So I think we said this in a previous podcast, is that you don't know the history of that horse that's falling behind. It's not that he's not adapting to the diet. It's just he might have a handbrake from his previous life, previous owners, previous career that's withholding him from obviously gaining a condition and looking as shiny and healthy as what he should. That does not mean that the diet is not working inside it. All it means is that it's just probably working a lot slower for that horse to be looking better than what the other 2 horses are, which they might have been healthier and didn't have as much of a hard life in their previous career.
Yeah, and we define them as easy keepers or hard keepers in a simple sense. And you have to start off with a foundation, a healthy foundation, which we do at Sen, and you make those minor adjustments. And 9 times out of 10, putting the horse under the microscope and working with the horse's response, you can get a really good result in the end. And it might take a little bit, as Peter said, depending on the horse's history.
Yeah, one thing I'd like to say is obviously what's on the back of the bag is a guide, and you might need to tweak that whether you go a little bit higher or you go a little bit lower. So don't give up if you feed what's on the back and either it's not working. Obviously, either contact us or just up the feed, obviously, because that horse might need more calories.
And speaking of those online phone booking consults, we've already got some scheduled in when we get back from our break after January 9th, Pete.
And they've been very popular, and we try to allocate at least half an hour for every customer or potential customer that calls through. It's a lot easier to do it on the phone because we can really get to the nitty gritty what that horse is suffering from, if they are suffering from, obviously, to get to know the whole picture, where obviously between emails and what so forth, things can get missed, and that means it's just easy for us to give better advice when we know the full story.
Yeah, we want to treat every horse as an individual to get the best result for that particular horse, and yeah, it's been amazing, the response, and we're really helping horse owners simplify the whole feeding regime just to make their lives easier, so you guys can concentrate on the training or the riding, which is enjoy, and worry less about nutrition.
Yeah, sort of from my end, Brian, I've had a couple of recent sort of questions in regards to putting condition on, and why their horse isn't putting on as much condition as some of the other ones, and you got to look at it's more about absorption of nutrients rather than the amount of feed. And the way I want to explain it is, if you can imagine a fuel tank and you've got a really small hole at the bottom of that fuel tank. So by just adding more fuel, it's not going to be the solution if that fuel is always leaking out every single time at the bottom. So what you want to do is you want to plug that hole, you want to fix that hole, and that might be fixing, the gut microbiome. It might be, with a pro and prebiotic, making sure that absorption obviously is going to be at 100%, not at 80%. So the solution isn't, I've got to feed more grain, or I've got to feed 5 kilograms instead of 2 kilograms. Doesn't matter what you feed, even if it's 20 kilograms. If that absorption isn't getting absorbed, you're just going to be getting the same result over and over again.
Yeah, it's all about taking a step back, getting that second opinion, even from us, and we can really help try and pinpoint and give you some management strategies with your nutrition to make it more efficient with that absorption, as Peter said.
It's probably more important as well, for the next 6 months, we've had a lot of rain in Australia. So every state that I know of has got a lot of rain. So a lot of people have got pasture, especially now during the summertime. So don't be reliant as much on your hard feed, because all you're doing is if your horse is on pasture 24/7 and you're giving it 3 kilograms of a hard feed throughout the day, all you're doing is taking up space in that horse's stomach from eating pasture. So you're actually spending money for not much need. And look, it's different if it's a vitamin mineral supplement, then you shouldn't be feeding 3 kilograms anyway. But if it's just a product to put more weight on a horse that they would put weight on from pasture, you're just wasting money. So what I'm trying to say is that if you have got pasture, use it to your advantage. Don't feed extra hard feed on top of the pasture if you don't need it, and just be mindful that you might be just taking up space where the horse is only going to eat less pasture because you're giving it too much hard feed.
Yeah, that's really good advice, and I think pasture is a lot more cheaper than a hard feed, and and this is coming from a feed and supplement company like ourselves, but we want what's best for the horse, and we've been giving that advice all year, and it'll continue into 2023. And speaking of that, Pete, can we give our listeners a sneak preview of what's to come?
Brian, I won't let the cat out of the bag so it doesn't rip up the couch. But the Lupin pellet's going to be getting a bit of a facelift.
As well, yeah. It sits next to the blue bag, and it looks a bit more dull than that one, yeah.
It does. So we are going to be spiking the Lupin pellet with a secret ingredient. Well, a couple of secret ingredients, I'd say. Yep. Just to bring it up more so to Australian conditions, and also to try to fix some of the problems that some of the pastures and the hays have in Australia. So I won't give too much away, but if people want to think what problems we have in Australia, especially with particular pastures that might be too much of something and maybe deficient in other things, this product will help fill that void in probably March or April next year.
Yeah, it'll definitely assist in the profile and really help the horse owners simplify their diet even down. And this is not only for pleasure horses or like horses in light work, even the performance trainers, even the high performance racing stables will get benefit from this product, because it's quite exciting and cutting edge.
It will also save them supplementing, probably another supplement that they're feeding at the moment on top of possibly the loop and pellet as well. So financially, it will be hopefully one less supplement that you do have to feed alongside the loop and pellet.
Yeah, and so going back into 2022, I'd just like to thank everyone for all their support. Peter and I are quite overwhelmed at times in terms of the amazing feedback that you have for Sen. It's been evolving over the past 8 years, and it's only going from strength to strength. And all our ambassadors, also thanks for your support as well. It's been amazing. Every time we get a phone call, I think every day, Pete, someone's like, I've just discovered your podcast. I just want to talk to Peter or Bryan. Magellan's getting a bit jealous about that, but that doesn't matter. But we're really happy to give our time to really help horse owners understand their horses better from the experiences we've had, and the products that we can create is of the highest quality, which really helps in the overall health of a horse.
Yeah, that's well said. But I don't think Magellan's too jealous. She's, you're getting her doing all the videos. She might get a call from a home and away or something soon.
Yeah, she's doing quite well, yeah.
Might come into a lead role or something. Summer Bay, look out.
Yeah, Magellan's been amazing with the diet consults as well, assisting Peter and I, because we seriously do get inundated, and we want to help as many people as we can understand the reasonings for their feed, and this will continue into 2023.
It's sort of a bit surreal in a way how quickly 8 years has gone. I mean, I think Bryan and I have known each other for at least sort of 10 years. So it's like if you look at it, it's sort of just gone straight by. And, we are a small family-owned business. We have got a pretty big warehouse now. And sometimes when we walk in, you sort of got to pinch yourself. Have we, grown to this in 8 years, and sort of imagine where we're going to be in another 8 years. But I think why we've got it to this point is because we really care for the animal and we really care for the owner. It's not about the money. What we pride on is about producing products that actually work. That's the biggest thing. When you get that phone call or you get the review saying, hey, look, this product's really helped my horse, or it's changed my life or the horse's life or what so forth. That's what really pumps us up, and it motivates us to produce even more products that actually work. And I'm not saying that every other company's smoking mirrors, but we don't release a product unless we've tested it 1,000,000 times and know that the customer or the potential customer will get benefit out of it. So it's not having 30 different feeds. It's just about having a couple of feeds that actually do a particular job that we feel needs a solution for.
Yeah, we strive and aim to do our best. We're feeding our own horses as well. And yeah, it's a feel-good way of work when you've impacted someone's life positively, including their horse or their dog or even themselves. Because also, if you're not aware, that we do have a collagen product for humans as well that was released this year, and that just keeps growing. People are understanding how it impacts the structure of their body. And Peter and I have got a podcast a few episodes back that explains why collagen in the Western diet is absolutely essential in supporting the body as we age and progress through life.
Yeah, and just getting the awareness there, Bryan, like as we mentioned in the podcast, most people aren't eating the tripe. They're not, drinking 8 litres of bone broth. They're not eating chicken skins, all that stuff that, tastes yucky and looks and smells very, very unattractive. That's what we're lacking, and unless obviously that's getting supplemented on a daily basis, our bodies are going to become deficient in it. So to me, the collagen in 5-10 years is going to be the silver bullet, and I think we're just a little bit ahead of our time. But we've got a lot of good 5-star reviews on the actual collagen, from better sleep to aches and things like that. So I'd really suggest that people listen to the podcast when they're going to be away on holidays, and look at it as a nutritional supplement, because a lot of us are not eating the foods which will cause us to have that deficiency.
Yeah, 100%, Peter, and probably leads us on to what we've extended, or an offer that we've extended on our website for all our supplements, and for the Sen Collagen for humans, we've got the 2 pouches that gets free shipping, which is being taken up really well. On the horse side, we've actually got 3 promotions that are going over this holiday period. We do have limited dispatch days, but your product will get out if you need it. So we've got 2 small supplements free shipping, 1 big supplement free shipping, and then also we have a 2-pack that is priced inclusive of shipping, and then let you know a little secret: if you add a supplement to that, there's no more shipping involved or no more shipping costs. And that's been very popular. And then on the dog side is the 2 supplements free shipping as well.
Yeah, and that's Australia-wide, including PO boxes. So basically, we've got Australia Post doing all that for us. So even if you're at Ayers Rock or if you're in Darwin or Broome for that matter on your holidays, you can still order it and it will come there. It might be 3 weeks, but hey, it's going to get there.
But yeah, that's been really popular. Like who likes paying for shipping anyway? But I think we'll wrap this one up, Pete.
Yeah. Any final parting words, Bryan, you'd like to leave for 2022?
No, just thanks everyone. Be safe. Have a very Merry Christmas with all your family and friends, and a Happy New Year. And I think it's going to be another successful one in 2023.
Yeah, I can only echo those words, Bryan. So likewise, I appreciate all the support and all the feedback, whether it's good feedback or bad feedback. We take everything on board, and obviously we adapt where we need to make the business obviously better, and even the products more improved where we need to.
Yep. So thanks everyone for listening throughout 2022, and we'll see you again in 2023. Let's go and get that champagne.
Thanks, guys.
All right, see you.